The surveys we did with, that's what you started on.
Yeah.
People want to know that it's a stable environment in which they can invest their money and get a return.
Our next guest agrees. He's a small business owner, founder of OneMoreCustomer.com, and NFL Hall of Famer Fran Tarkenton. So how do we get that? You know, we were talking with Martin Feldstein earlier, the top economist for both President Reagan and President Obama, and we talked about the fact that it was a year ago everyone was saying there was still so much uncertainty and we should see an extension, say, for example, of the Bush tax cuts, which we did get, yet there is still uncertainty. Is it not a fact of life, Fran, that there will always be uncertainty and therefore we got to deal with it somehow?
Well, first of all, we have to understand where the job growth is going to come from. I disagree with the chamber. A 500-person company is a big company. 70% of all businesses in America are sole proprietorship. 95% of all businesses are 1 to 20 employees. The job growth comes from that group of people, and that group of people are now burdened with more regulations. We pay a full corporate tax rate of 39%. The Fortune 500 companies are they're having record earnings. They're going to have record earnings again this quarter. They have hordes of cash because they don't pay 39% tax.
You're right.
15 to 18% tax is what they pay. And a more recent report that just came out that 12 of our leading companies and from 2008 to 2010 paid minus 1.5. Those companies are people like IBM,
how is that okay, Fran?
General Electric,
Fran,
Exxon.
how is that
okay?
And what do we do about it? Why is it fair? Why is that okay?
Well, all we hear from this administration, let's soak the rich, but the rich are us, the entrepreneurs that make $250,000 and up. It's not those billionaires. They've got representation in Washington, so they get taxed.
But Fran, we should be fair. We should be fair. You know, those big corporations that are only paying 18, 19, 20%, they were doing that under President Bush as well.
This is not a Democrat-Republican yet. You're absolutely right. And they were doing that a long time before that. Remember the statement, what's good for General Motors is good for America? Well, that didn't work out so well. Here's what it is. What's good for small business is good for America. But first of all, they have to understand the job growth engine. And rather than taxing us and over-regulating us,
here's the more important issue that the Congress is going to pressure and has been pressuring the IRS to go after taxpayers to bring in more revenue. We know the big guys can hire the big, tax lawyers and the tax firms to represent them. And the little guy, like the small business who can't operate on the global stage, who tends not to have global partners, you guys are going to get socked more by the IRS.
Well, if we're going to get out of this mess, we've got to have tax reform. Get rid of the stuff that the tax evasive models that are out there for big corporations and super wealthy people. Let's have tax reform. Let's lower the base tax rate. Let's lower the capital gains tax rate. Put more. Who would you rather have the money? The small business entrepreneur who's paying the record taxes now, or would you rather have the government have that money?
Yeah, that's how you get the revenue.
Fran, great to see you. We've got to run. We've got to run, but Fran, it's good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Fran Tarkenton.
Well, forget stocks, bonds.